Scientists are raising the alarm. A massive volcanic eruption could happen within the next century, and its impact might be catastrophic for humanity. According to recent studies, there's a 1 in 6 chance of such an event occurring, and it could drastically alter the global climate, endangering millions of lives. Let's take a step back to January 2022, when the Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai volcano in the South Pacific erupted with incredible force. The explosion was so powerful that it sent shockwaves across the globe, triggering tsunamis that reached as far as Japan in the Americas. The island nation of Tonga bore the brunt of the disaster, with damages estimated at nearly 20% of its GDP. Now, researchers from the Niels Bohr Institute in Copenhagen have dug deeper, literally. By analyzing ice cores from Greenland and Antarctica, they've uncovered evidence of past volcanic events that suggest an even greater threat, a super eruption, potentially 10 to 100 times more powerful than Tonga's. Such eruptions have historically caused dramatic climate shifts, leading to crop failures, famines, and even the collapse of civilizations. Yet despite the clear and present danger, the world remains woefully unprepared. Michael Cassidy, a leading volcanologist from the University of Birmingham, highlights a troubling imbalance. While billions are spent on asteroid defense programs, the threat of a supervolcanic eruption is far more likely and potentially far more destructive. Despite this, there's no global strategy in place to deal with such an event. To put things into perspective, let's revisit the eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815. This catastrophic event, the largest in recorded history, killed tens of thousands and plunged the world into a period of extreme cooling. The following year, 1816, became known as the year without a summer. Crops failed, food shortages spread, and a cholera pandemic erupted, claiming countless lives. Some even speculate that the gloomy weather inspired Mary Shelley to write her iconic novel, Frankenstein, while she was confined indoors during that unusually cold summer in Switzerland. Fast forward to today, and scientists warn that we could be facing a similar or even worse scenario. The difference? Our modern world is far more interconnected and vulnerable. Climate change, already a pressing issue, could exacerbate the effects of a super eruption. Dr. Michael Rampino, a geologist, explains that in a warmer climate, the sulfur dioxide released by a massive eruption could spread more rapidly and widely, leading to even more severe global cooling. Dr. Thomas Aubrey, another expert in the field, adds that the tiny sulfate particles formed by volcanic gases could reflect more sunlight, potentially cooling the planet by an additional 15% compared to past events. However, the full extent of such an eruption's impact remains uncertain. Researchers from the University of Geneva emphasize that we're only beginning to understand the complex interactions between volcanic activity and climate. To piece together the puzzle of past eruptions, scientists rely on ice cores and tree rings, which act as natural archives of Earth's climate history. These records reveal that volcanic events like the 1257 Samalas eruption in Indonesia may have triggered the Little Ice Age, a centuries-long period of global cooling. More recently, the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines provided a modern example of how volcanic activity can temporarily cool the planet. Despite advances in technology, predicting the next big eruption remains a challenge. Satellites and seismic instruments help, but they can't provide precise forecasts. Instead, scientists focus on preparing for worst-case scenarios. This includes developing evacuation plans, stockpiling food, and studying how climate change might increase volcanic risks. For instance, melting glaciers can reduce pressure on magma chambers, making eruptions more likely. Similarly, extreme rainfall, which is becoming more common, can infiltrate volcanic cracks, triggering explosive, steam-driven eruptions. High-risk areas include Iceland, Chile, and Indonesia, where glaciers are melting rapidly and rainfall patterns are shifting. A 2022 study identified 716 volcanoes worldwide, over half of all known active volcanoes, that could be destabilized by climate change, increasing the likelihood of eruptions. The Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai eruption of 2022 set a new record, with its plume reaching an astonishing 187,000 feet into the mesosphere, the highest ever recorded. This marked the first time a volcanic plume had penetrated this layer of the atmosphere, where meteors typically burn up. Modern satellite technology made it possible to measure this event with unprecedented accuracy. Meanwhile, in Iceland, the Reykjanes Peninsula has seen increased volcanic activity. A recent eruption in November 2024 forced evacuations near the popular Blue Lagoon Spa Resort. While this event was smaller than previous ones, scientists warn that the region remains volatile. In conclusion, the threat of a super eruption is real, and its consequences could be devastating. As scientists continue to study these risks, it's clear that the world needs to take action before it's too late. If you found this exploration of volcanic hazards fascinating, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and stay curious with us.